Alright, welcome back to Naked Exposure. So I thought I would just do a little sit down talk just about my feelings about the world, about photography, just so many different factors. And I kind of wanted to link into. I did an old video on my channel about anxiety in photography, and I think that is quite important, as like now as it has ever been, because of course, there's so much uncertainty, the pandemic, social revolution stuff. Um, we're all being brought up in social media, instant communication, new generation not believing old shit. The old generations were believing in different shifts in ideas and motivations in life. Uh, the idea of materialism and how like transparent it is now that it's a bunch of bollocks. All of that stuff, general over existentialness of living in the year 2020. um, it all comes somehow. I'll just link it back to photography and film to photography and how important it is. Now, I've not actually taken that many pictures in the past week or two, but I did, for the past 2 months I shot a lot of pictures and kind of burnt myself out a little bit, so I'm just taking a bit of a regen while I think on what I actually want to take pictures of and what's important to me. But yeah, being in this day and age and being a person, like a young person, like my age, I'm 22 years old. I think there's a lot of people that I know around me and a lot of people in my life that have anxiety. Anxiety is a very normal thing nowadays, There's a difference between feeling nervous and having anxiety. Anxiety is just that overall, general, like, overthinking everything, being scared to go to the shops or being nervous to even speak to people that you're really close with and know really well. So it can be a debilitating thing for some people, and it's important to talk about it for sure. And I think that's one of the good things that's come out. The modern age is we're able to talk about these things a lot more openly. People are able to accept them, understand them. There's definitely some people on earth that are still very close-minded and don't want to listen to what people have to say or people's feelings, or that they have anxiety. They just tell them to shrug it off and get on with life. But that is the time we're living in. There's so many different conflicts of ideas. Anyway, what does anxiety have to do with photography? And as I said, I did an old video on my YouTube channel, on this channel, about anxiety in photography and how important it is as a role. And when you have anxiety or a mental health condition, having some sort of creative outlet is so important. Like, it's so important. Just having something to take you out of your mind for a bit, even if it's not doesn't feel like it's taking you out of your mind. It kind of is a little bit. And specifically for me, it's film photography. Now, you could definitely apply this with regular photography because it's the same principles, but I think that the therapeutic process of picking up a roll of film, say for example, I go to the shop, right? There's the Kodak shop in Edinburgh. I go into town, I get off the bus, I go into the Kodak shop, I'm looking at all the films on the shelf, and I'm looking at all of them and thinking about what colours each one represents, how the properties of each film stock, the ISO, what it means I can shoot, if I'm in a light situation, if I'm in a dark situation, how each film's going to interpret those situations, right? So you've got that one layer. It takes a bit of brain processing, it's a bit of stimulation, it's a bit of creative thought. So you're looking at all the rolls of film, you're like, oh, that nice. I want to go for a Kodak Ektar 100, so it's a 100 ISO film. It means I'm going to have to shoot it in quite a bright condition. I couldn't shoot it inside. It's got very red tones to it, red hues. So yeah, outdoors, a lot of light, red hues. Skin tones can be a bit too warm. Really good for landscapes, maybe really good for buildings. Oh, it could be good for cars and stuff as well. So you've got that whole process going on. So then you spend actual money to go buy this roll of film, and just the whole process of having a transaction with a human being, uh, having the roll of film to get, and usually when you go to a camera shop or somewhere to buy film, there's a bit more interaction than just day-to-day life, going to the shops and picking up your shopping, or I forgot to get toilet roll at the co-op. Those kind of things are so surface level and so mundane, and you just wish you didn't have to do them every day, but you do. But buying film is a bit different, in my experience anyway. It's a nice exchange that you have with the person selling you it. So then you've got that whole first step, which for someone with anxiety or someone who has a lot of self-doubt, I think is a good thing to, have that get the brain cogs turning, get them starting. So then you've got your film. You walk out of the shop and you're just like, okay, so now I know what kind of things I can shoot with this film. I've decided, I've interpreted what looks good and what doesn't. And then you've got the whole process of opening the back of the camera up, putting the film in, pulling it along, winding it on, cranking it, closing it, and then shoot, crank, crank, and then you're ready. So that whole tactileness, it gets the mind. It gets you escaping a bit from here. It's like I find it like honestly like some sort of mindfulness or meditation. That whole process of just, I know what I'm doing here. I'm loading this to capture still images of the world and capture them onto a piece of plastic, which can then sit in my drawer forever. And I can look back on and think, God damn, even if I felt shit, even if I felt really anxious and didn't feel comfortable within myself as a person, I was able to use that energy and, go get this roll of film, put it in the camera, and take these images. And so once you've loaded the roll of film up, that's when your brain cogs really start going. They just start firing all cylinders. You're just looking at the scene around you. You don't even need to specifically shoot exactly what you had in mind and intended. When you picked up the roll, you were like, I want to shoot buildings. You don't need to do that. You just walk on the street. But the one thing you do know is that you have 36 exposures. You have 36 pictures, and that's it. And once you've shot that 36th picture, there's no going back. That's your images. And because you're firing literal money, you're literally shooting money, it makes it special. Those 36 images have a lot more purpose. There's like a concrete ideology behind these 36 pictures. They have to have a meaning to you. They have to have some substance. They have to be aesthetically pleasing. All of these things, and the beauty of it is that it doesn't need to be anything. The picture could be a picture of a light post, but because of this whole process, the money, the time, the process, the limitedness of how many pictures you've got, the picture has so much more depth. And I think that really shows, because the energy you put into something, you get back, right? So when you take a picture and all of these different layers have gone into that picture, when people view the image, people have a feeling that comes off. Maybe it's just a regular picture with a light post to them. They don't visually see a difference in the image, but because that energy has gone into it, people that view the images can see it. And I think that's a really important thing. Now, film photography can be a bit of a gimmick, definitely. I'll be the first to admit that. Film photographs can look worse sometimes. Film photographs can be really grainy. Some old lenses just look bad, They look bad, and a lot of people don't want to admit that film can look bad sometimes, but it can. So that's what I think the important thing about it is, that whole energy you're putting into the shot. If you can get a nice composition along with a good motivation that you put in towards the image, then the end result is going to be really, really sweet. And that is so important. When I pick up a digital camera, personally, I don't have all those brain cogs going. For someone like, I have anxiety, and I just don't have that brain stimulation. My brain is very overactive, and I need to feel like I have some importance or some role, or these images mean something in the grand scheme of things. And maybe the film photographs don't mean anything either in the grand scheme of things, but they feel like they have a lot more importance. And to me, knowing that I can store these images in a folder in my drawer and pull them out whenever I want, and then rescan the negatives, is like really, really powerful. And it's that important thing. Humans need to feel like a belonging. They need to feel like they can set their mark. That's what we've done throughout history with the Romans, the Greeks. Always, maybe they're not the best examples because they weren't really great people, but they set their mark in the human timeline. Now, it's a lot bigger. The Roman Empire is a bit bigger than film photography, but I think it's a beautiful thing, And as long as digital can't supply that role, that purpose that it's given you, it can never replace film. Even if it looks way better, the lenses are way better quality, the images look better on digital. And I wouldn't have said that 5 years ago, but the point we're at now with Fuji X-T4s, with Ricoh GR3s, with Sony A7R4s, they are a bloody amazing cameras. They are unbelievably good cameras. The sensors are really high dynamic range. Colors they produce are amazing. The lenses they have produce great bokeh. They're really fast. They're really quiet. You can hold tons of images on them. They're small. I don't think we can really deny at this point now, digital tech has caught up and surpassed many years ago what film could ever achieve. But if it can't hit that main human, belief system within that there is some importance from it, or a deeper meaning, it can't replace film. And And there's been digital cameras that have tried, like there was that Fuji one, I can't remember what it was. Was it an X Pro 2 or an X Pro 3 or something? It was a digital camera, but the screen was like reversed on the back of it, so you couldn't see your pictures unless you flipped it down to see them, and it was to make you shoot pictures without looking. That stuff, as long as you're in within, or like the yeah, I actually have unlimited pictures, or I can take as many pictures I want. This is just some stuff that's actually holding back the experience of just shooting on a digital camera. This is why you don't shoot film to have you don't shoot digital to have like some limitation that you're putting on yourself. So with film, anyone can do it, and that's the important part. That's why I recorded this. I went on a tangent and I forgot what my initial point was supposed to be. I'm gonna get rid of this pen as well, to remind me. Anyone can pick up a film camera. It doesn't matter what your financial situation is. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. It doesn't matter. There's some arts that people can't get an enjoyment out of because you need a certain skill level or experience, or you need the financial backing to do. When you're picking up a film camera, you can go to a charity shop, you can go on eBay, pick up a £2-3 film camera, right? That's dirt cheap, and I'm sure that's almost in everyone's budget, unless you're in a really unfortunate position. You pick up a cheap roll of film, £3-4, right? For £10, you can get a camera, get a roll of film, and just go out and take pictures. Now, you don't need to know any experience. You can get a camera that does everything for you. Just look at something and you just think, I think every human being, every person can see an image. I think that's a skill that is universal. It maybe doesn't have to be like the goddamn Henry Cartier-Bresson of photography. It doesn't need to be the absolute best thing ever, but humans just have a built-in thing where we're able to, you take in your own life experiences and your life skills, and you look at something and think, this has a certain feeling to it, or this expresses this. It doesn't matter if you've studied arts or if you're a super creative person. Everyone is always using their eyes to analyze the world around them. Everyone's been, since they were a child, looking around trying to see what's visually stimulating and what's visually interesting. So if you can apply that skill to just picking up a camera and not understanding what the whole process of the film camera is, you just put it in. Get a winding camera, you just put it in it winds the film on for you. You just go and find stuff and you're like, oh damn, that looks cool. You take pictures, it winds onto the next shot. At the end, it winds it in the camera and you have the roll. Then you just hand it into, it could even be somewhere really simple like Jessop's Boots. You just hand it into a really cheap, easy film lab, and 3 days later you come back, pick up your shots with some prints, and you just look at your photos and you're like, damn. As simple as that was, is sort of, it didn't really involve doing anything. It just involved seeing the world around me, but having an instrument to sort of freeze sections of it that I found a little bit of interest in. That sparked so many thoughts and so many different passions and motivations. You could all of a sudden realize certain things within your life, or realize a certain creative path that you want to go in. Not even photography. It might make you realize that you love rose bushes. I don't know why that was why was that my first thought, but you love rose bushes. You took a picture of a rose bush and you were like, damn, I actually really like plants. That made me realize I was photographing a lot of flowers there. Maybe flowers is something I'm interested in. Maybe flowers is something that really gives me some interest and motivation, and it can just lead to that whole road. And that's what I think is universally amazing. Like when I like give people that I know around me like a camera to use, I'm just like, oh, here's my film camera, it's really simple, just go take a picture, whatever you want. They always are like, oh, but no, I couldn't because you want me to take a really great photo, or like I couldn't take a picture, I don't know how to take pictures. That's not true at all. Everyone can take pictures, and I just want people to be able to like just enjoy photography. You don't need to be some goddamn snob. You don't need to be an absolute anarchist. That's not the right word. Anarchist is when you burn down God's ability. You don't need to be an anorak. I don't know what term I mean, but you know what I mean. An enthusiast nerd, or some snob who's like, photography is only for the deep and meaningful. No, it's for everyone, and everyone has their own struggles in life, or anyone has their own complete passions in life, and everyone is able to put that into a frame. It doesn't have to be the goddamn Leonardo da Vinci but it can mean something to you, and that is the important thing, and that's the point I'm getting to. And for someone with anxiety, the whole tactileness, the whole thought process, the end result, and feeling some worth is a very important thing, especially during a pandemic. You know, you can pick up a goddamn film camera, pick up some film, shoot pictures in your room, find things in your room to take pictures of. There's so many things around you that are interesting. It could even be your own hands. It could be the way that your lines have aged over time. It could be the texture in your clothes. It could be the worn outness. Maybe you've got socks that you've got down worn for 7 years and they're holy and they're a mess, but you love them. You can photograph that, and anyone can do that. And if anyone fucking argues against that, they're a liar. It's not true. The goddamn fine art world would probably have me like staked on the stake, like, this guy's a traitor. He doesn't get the true art of it all. That's bullshit. And that's all I wanted to say, is just experience it. If you have anxiety, I feel like I've said if you have anxiety a million times, but if you have anxiety, film photography is a great tool to momentarily deal with it. It's not going to fix it. You know, that's only going to come with time, patience, and working on yourself. But I think it has a beautiful key within the world of anxiety. And if I didn't have photography, if I didn't pick up that camera and start taking pictures, I don't know where I would be. I would be a lot more of a nervous wreck than I am now, which I'm still a nervous wreck, but I'm a nervous wreck that has some creative flow, which is exactly what I needed in my life. And that's just something I want to pass to someone, because someone hearing this probably needs that in their life. Even if it's only that one person, you now want to experience that. And if you've experienced it once and not done it in a while, and you're like, I might be time to do it again now, then do it. And that's all I have to say. It's just a quick little flow off video. It was nice. I enjoyed this different kind of style. Nothing too serious, just a nice chat. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts on that, if you want to disagree with me, I'll leave it in the comments below. If you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. I've been watching far too many tech reviewers recently. I've been getting so much into tech and watching phone reviews and laptop reviews and graphics cards and the PlayStation 5 and shit. Everyone's like, if you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, leave a comment and tell me what I can improve on, and then I'll see you next time. Anyway guys, that's Naked Exposure. I'll see you later guys. Bye bye.